Hey guys, Getty here, and I am back with another video. This would be the first time I'm actually doing a video on my mic, so I'm just trying it out. Now that I got a new PC and stuff, um, so I figure for the first video, we would talk about the Game Awards. So yeah, the Game Awards have come back this year. Um, I know some people are pretty excited about it. I'm kind of not too excited about it. I mostly just watch it for like all the new announcements and stuff. That's kind of what it's been over the years. It's just been kind of like new games, new stuff coming out throughout next year, and things like that. So the reason why I'm talking about the Game Awards is because I figured we kind of talk through them, and then I'm also going to bring up a little bit about the controversy with Last of Us Part 2. So I'm probably going to bring that up as well. Um, One of the biggest things that I think is kind of getting people pissed about this year, which is going to be just like last year with Death Stranding, um, where they're putting in Last of Us Part 2 in this, but it's going to have 6 nominees, which I don't understand. Because, for one, the game wasn't that good. I don't think anybody really liked the game this year. There may be some people that like the game, but a lot of people were heavily disappointed with this game. So I do not really think this game should have not been in the Game Awards. I'm sorry, but it shouldn't have. Especially when the game is just a piece of shit. So, we'll talk about that in a bit, but let's go through some of the nominees here. We have Game of the Year, we have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and then Last of Us Part 2. Um, I still think this game will not be Game of the Year. I still don't think that, but we'll get to that. Final Fantasy VII Remake for Best Game Direction, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life. I didn't even know they had a Half-Life new game. That's interesting. Last of Us Part 2, Best Narrative, 13 Signals, Our Sentinel, sorry, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Last of Us Part 2. Best Art Direction, Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, or In the Will of the Wisp, Last of Us Part 2. I think Will of the Wisp would be pretty good. Best Score in Music, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, Hades, Ori, and Last of Us Part 2. Best Audio Design, Doom Eternal, Half-Life, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, Last of Us Part 2. And then Best Performance, we have Ellie, we have Laura Bailey as Abby, a guy from Ghost of Tsushima, which I cannot pronounce his name, Logan Cunningham as Hades, and the guy that plays Morales. Games for Impact, which I'm thinking that this is just visual novel games. That's just how I look at it. Best Ongoing, Ape Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Best Indie, Karen, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spear Fur. Best Mobile Game, Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. Best Community Support, Ape Legends, Destiny 2, Fallout Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. I think that's what it says. Best VR, Dreams, Half-Life, Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and then Walking Dead. Innovation, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperroot, or Hyperdot, sorry, Last of Us Part 2, and then Watch Dogs Legion. Best Action, Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. Best Action Adventure, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Morales, or In the Will of the Wisp, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Last of Us Part 2. Best Role Playing, Final Fantasy 7, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Best Fighting, Grand Blue Fantasy, more about Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter 5, One Punch Man, Utter Night in Birth, Best Family, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, Minecraft Dungeons, Mario Party the Origami King, or Paper Mario. I don't know why I said Mario Party, my bad. Crusader Kings, Desperados, Gears Tactics, Flight Simulator, and XCOM. Best Sports and Racing, Dirt 5, F1 2020, uh, FIFA 21, FIFA 2K21, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Best Multiplayer, Animal Crossing, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Valorant, and then just Content Creator of the Year, and then just they showed debut game, esports, best esports coach, esports event, best esports game, Modern Warfare, Counter Strike, Fortnite, League of Legends, and then Valorant. Esports. Yeah, that's all they really have. So I'm just gonna go through these, even though I just read them. I'm just gonna go through these real quick. Uh, yeah. Okay. So for Game of the Year, which is the big one, I definitely don't think Last of Us Part Two is gonna win. I mean, like I said, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Um, but definitely not this game. I strongly think that this game is gonna fucking win. I personally, for Game of the Year, I definitely think Ghost of Tsushima is gonna win, or maybe Animal Crossing, maybe Final Fantasy VII, depending on how the many votes. Personally, Ghost of Tsushima did really well in sales, so I think that's probably gonna do well. Animal Crossing, it's kind of a toss up between either Ghost of Tsushima or Animal Crossing. Personally, Ghost of Tsushima definitely takes my vote. I love Animal Crossing. There's nothing wrong with the game, like especially the new one. But I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I know there's some people that may want this game to be the game of the year, but it could be possible that maybe Final Fantasy VII does. And if it does, awesome. I thought last year, I thought Smash Bros. Ultimate was going to be game of the year because everybody was hoping for that game. But um, sad to say, Sekiro won. Sekiro won for game of the year last year. So, so that game won. So I'm thinking, my this is just an assumption. This is just really what I think might win. Um, I still think that I still think Ghost of Tsushima will win. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, best game direction. I noticed in some of the nominees that it's basically the same games, but it's like they take one out of the other and then just kind of keep the same games in that one category. But that's just for some. There's not a lot. Um, so for game direction, um, probably Ghost of Tsushima, definitely, because Last of Us Part Two, definitely not. Um, Final Fantasy VII, maybe. So, but Ghost of Tsushima, best narrative. I know 13 Sentinels. That's more of a visual novel game. Um, so I don't know about that one. Final Fantasy VII. I mean, it's a really long game, and I know everybody loves the story of Final Fantasy VII. So maybe. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII yet. I plan on playing it soon since it actually looks really good. And I'm usually not a big Final Fantasy fan, so I definitely might try it out. So definitely Final Fantasy for sure. Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, even though I think that's a RPG. I think. I don't know much about Hades, so that's why. Um, but yeah, best art direction, Final Fantasy VII, probably. I think Ori probably will win because Ori looks awesome. Like visually wise, it looks really good. Ghost of Tsushima too, but I think Ghost of Tsushima shouldn't get that many awards though. Not to degrade it or anything. I'm just saying that I think that other games should have a chance, except this one. Um, best score in music, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII, Hades, Ori, and then Last of Us. I definitely think Ori. Last of Us, no. Uh, best art design. I still think Ghost of Tsushima will win. It's funny that they put Resident Evil 3 because I mean the audio is pretty good, but I don't know. Best performance. I thought Miles Morales was pretty good. He was really good in the first Spider-Man game, so I think it was good. I played the new Miles Morales. I'm a bit disappointed that it should have just been a DLC. That's just me. I still think it should have been a DLC. But great game though. It was still pretty good. Um, the other two here, um, I like Laura Bailey, but I'm still I'm still against the whole idea of this, so I'm not gonna do that. I still can't believe Destiny 2 is actually on this because Destiny 2 isn't doing so hot right now. Especially with all that new DLC, it is not doing so hot. Um, Fortnite, of course, would be on here, of course. I'm thinking that Fortnite will probably win. That's just what I'm thinking. I think Fortnite will probably do this. I voted for No Man's Sky, but I think Fortnite will probably win this. Either that or Warzone. But see, the problem with Warzone is it's kind of got the same trend as like every single COD game that comes out. So I don't know, but we'll have to see. I'm definitely putting my money on Fortnite if it beats all of this. Like I'm not voting for it, but if it ends up winning, then I fucking called it. Just saying. Um, best indie. I know Hades. I just voted Hades because I don't know much about it. I've seen a trailer of it, but I just voted it simply because I definitely was not going to vote for Fall Guys, even though everybody plays Fall Guys. But no, Hades definitely would get the vote. Mobile game. I had a lot of fun with Pokemon Cafe Mix, so that one I voted. Call of Duty Mobile, no, no. Especially when this game has loot boxes, no. I'm not voting for something like that. Among Us probably would win, but I mean, it's a toss up between either Genshin Impact or Pokemon Cafe Mix. But I think Pokemon Cafe Mix will probably have a chance at winning, but I think Genshin Impact will probably win. Community support, No Man's Sky, I voted because I know the community support in Destiny 2 is horrible. I don't understand why it's in here. Fortnite definitely. I mean, Fortnite has no community support whatsoever. Fall Guys maybe because Fall Guys I heard a lot of people say like it's pretty good. So no. Um, best VR. I know Dreams because you could make your own games and stuff on there. I know a lot of people have took advantage with VR on it. Um, I haven't really played Dreams all that much, but I've seen people's designs. It's really cool. Iron Man VR. I mean, it could. I mean, Iron Man VR. A lot of people said was really good. If you have the PlayStation VR, a lot of people said it's really good. Squadrons. Same thing. Walking Dead. I haven't really heard much about the VR version of that, but still. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think this will probably win. Maybe Watch Dogs. We'll see. Best action, Hades. Um, best action adventure. It's a toss up between either either Spider-Man or Ghost of Tsushima or Ori. I can't believe Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order's on here because that's a game that came out like last year. It should have been in like last year's thing. But you know what? I have this theory that the reason why some of the games that were back on here was because they wanted to fill in that category because they couldn't think of anything that would be part of the Game Awards. That's what I'm thinking. So I think that's one of the reasons why I think Star Wars is on here. But it's not a bad game. It's just that just should have been in last year's category, personally. Uh, best role playing. It's kind of the same for Persona 5, even though it's kind of more of like it's an extra like DLC pack where they added like new content to Persona 5. So so I don't know about that one. Yakuza Like a Dragon, that's brand new. Um, Genshin Impact. I'm thinking Genshin Warpath will probably win. That's what I'm thinking. Um, maybe Final Fantasy, but Genshin Impact probably. Now I want to talk about the best fighting real quick because this is something I want to kind of bring up. So best fighting, the categories seem to be a little different. Like I mean, it's kind of interesting because um, they added ones on here that were considered as DLC. So like Mortal Kombat 11 or yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, sorry. Um, that one has DLC, which was a game that came out last year. But the only thing my what I think is the only reason why I think this game was on here and same with Street Fighter 5 is because they probably could figure out what to put for fighting because there really wasn't that many fighting games that came out this year. So they're like, you know what? We'll just put like games that came out before that got released as DLC packs. So like Mortal Kombat 11 had a whole bunch of had a whole bunch of like DLC packs, and same with Street Fighter 5. So I think that those two, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, they all got DLC packs because of that. And same with Grand Blue Fantasy, even though I know Grand Blue Fantasy is brand new, so I can't say that. But these two definitely, and same with Under Night in Birth. Um, that one definitely, even though it was sort of a new release, but it was kind of the same boat as those two, where they kind of released it with extra new DLC and shit. So that's yeah. And then we have One Punch Man. Now, One Punch Man, from my understanding, a lot of people did not like. For an anime game, it's definitely like I haven't played it, and I love One Punch Man, but from what my understanding, a lot of people said that One Punch Man was not that good. But I feel like it's kind of the same as that, where it might have been more of like a substitute. Because I know when they did the fighting game last year, Smash Bros. Ultimate was there, but they added Jump Force as kind of like a main competitor. But the problem is that everybody hates Jump Force. Like some people like Jump Force, but because Jump Force was heavily hated based on reviews, that it was like ludicrous for them to put the actual game on the category. But I get why they did that because Jump Force was only in just so that way it could be nominated so it could compete with Smash Bros. Ultimate. Because everybody knew that the game was gonna everybody knew that Ultimate was gonna beat Jump Force. And even it did. So at the end of the day, having Jump Force in that category was kind of useless. So I feel like it's gonna be the same thing for One Punch Man. It's gonna be exactly the same thing. So, but personally, if I had to pick, it'd be definitely Under Night in Birth. Um, because I actually had a lot of fun with this. I like Street Fighter 5, but no, no. Best family, Crash Bandicoot 4 probably is my vote. I actually really like Crash Bandicoot 4, Really good sequel to the rest of the Crash series. Animal Crossing New Horizons, it might have a chance. I still think that it probably will. Mario Kart Live, I don't know, maybe. Fall Guys, Minecraft Dungeons. Even though I know some people didn't really like Minecraft Dungeons, and then Paper Mario. I don't understand why Paper Mario would be on here when I still think that the game is horrible. Like I know some people like the new Paper Mario. I don't really like the new Paper Mario. To me, it's kind of like Sticker Star or Color Splash. It just seems like Nintendo doesn't fully understand what Paper Mario really is basically meant to be to some people. Personally, what they need to do is just make a game like Thousand Year Door. It's not that hard because Paper Mario's always been an RPG series. So I just don't get why it's not that hard just to make a good RPG game of Paper Mario. Um, but yeah, so definitely that one. Best Slim and Strategy. These are games I've never played, so I just put XCOM. And then this is another one I want to bring up. So they added NBA 2K21 and they added FIFA 21. Now, NBA 2K21, I don't understand why this game's on here. When last time I checked, the game's got loot boxes, and the game was criticized heavily. But it's kind of like the same thing with the fighting category. The reason why they put that game on here was because they probably couldn't think of sport titles to put in this category. Even though they could put like NHL and they could put Madden or whatever, but Madden has never really won anything out of this Game Awards. So I think that's kind of why. I think they just wanted to find some kind of sport title just to put in the category because I still think it's weird that FIFA would win. And same with this, but whatever. It doesn't make sense. I think Tony Hawk will probably win. I mean, I like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, so definitely. Um, Best multiplayer, probably Among Us, since everybody loves Among Us. Um, Animal Crossing, maybe. Probably Among Us or Fall Guys, I'm thinking. And then this is his content creator, debut game, esports, kind of like we already went before, so I'm going to skip all that shit. Alright, so now we're talking about Last of Us 2. So as you can see here, Last of Us Part 2 has pretty much 6 nominees, including the ones for best voice audio and everything. So it adds 2 voice actresses from the game. Now, I liked Laura Bailey. Obviously, she's voiced a lot of anime roles and she's done like other games and things like that. But still, I wouldn't vote that anyway. Not that she's bad job. It's just that it's Last of Us Part 2. Like, I'm not going to vote for a game that was shit. But I'm going to bring this game up since we already went through all the categories and everything. So, I agree with some people that Last of Us Part 2 does not need to be in the Game Awards. It doesn't need to be in these categories, like in any of these nominees. It doesn't need to be whatsoever. Why? Because the game's shit. Like it should be common sense to people that the game is horrible. Like I know some people like the game, but I don't. Um I feel like the game was filled with nothing but SJW bullshit. I think that the story was crap. I think that how they killed Joel was unnecessary. And I know some people may argue like, "Oh, Joel's a main Joel was supposed to die. What do you care? He's not a main character." Well, he is. He's the main character. He was the main character in the first game. Like, you basically play as him and Ellie. Like, the story's about those two, right? And part two was kind of like that, except they were trying to tell it from Ellie's perspective. Really cool, but again, they should have killed him off. Like, if they waited till the ending to do it, okay, that's different. But they waited till, like, way early on to do it. It's just so stupid. And just the way the story is, like, you're flip-flopping from, like, Ellie to Abby, and it's like, nobody cares about Abby. Like, she's a character that was unneeded. Like, they made her into a character that everybody should care about. Like, no. No, you guys just fucked your story right there. Um, but yeah. So the game direction, no. Um, the creator of the game, no. I don't. I personally think the guy should never fucking make a game again because of how shit that he did to Last of Us Part Two. Um, and I also think why this game is in the Game Awards is mainly because like kind of the shit that they pulled last year with Death Stranding, where Hideo Kojima, when he made Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain before he was let go from Konami, he was supposed to get an award for that game. But because Konami let him go, like fired him, he was prevented from getting the award. He was actually not even allowed to show up at the ceremony to get the award. So that's primarily the reason why that they did that, so that way they can make up for what happened. So that's why Death Stranding got into the Game of the Year award and went into other nominees and stuff, which personally I don't understand because all it is you're stirring up controversy, right? Like some people may like Death Stranding, but with getting that many nominees, like it got like 4 or 5 nominees last year, and that's just like one less than Last of Us Part Two is getting, because Last of Us Part Two is getting about 6, and Death Stranding got about 4 or 5. And even still, that game does not need to be getting any of that whatsoever. Like that's just me. I still don't think it doesn't need to. But that being said, though, I do think that it's kind of be the same thing with this. They're only doing it just to stir a controversy, which I don't understand because they should know that the game is horrible. Like Last of Us Part 2 was demolished by Ghost of Tsushima. Like as a Sony title, it actually beat the game in sales. Like Last of Us Part 2, when it came out, it was out by 1 week, and then the sales plummet right after it came out because nobody bought it. The only reason why people went and bought it was because people that did look at the cutscenes and didn't want to get spoiled by the story, they were like, okay, well, I want to play and see for myself. And the people that did that bought it and saw what happened and never bothered with it again. So that's why I think the game is just shit. And I still see that the game is still doing horrible. Like Switch games are making so much money than this game. All right, I could go on and on about this game, but I'm not. But all I'm gonna say is that the game should have never been um, part of the Game Awards. It should have never been nominated. I don't understand what made them put them in there. I don't get it because the game's horrible. Like it's nothing but SJW. Like it's probably the most disappointing game this year. If anything, if they make it like the worst disappointing game this year, I would definitely vote Last of Us Part Two for sure, because that game was very disappointing. Like because I loved the first one, but and I was excited for the second one too. But then when they pulled that shit with Joel and then everything with like SJW and then with Naughty Dog and Sony and then the guys at Naughty Dog like just ignoring the fan base and whatever, um I have no respect for that game. That's why I wasn't very all that impressed about it. So, yeah, so anyway, tell me what do you guys think about the Game Awards. Tell me what do you guys think about the controversy, and let me know in the comments section below. I'll be making more videos in the future. This is just gonna be one of them. Uh, but yeah, until then, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys later. Bye bye.